If I had a nickel for every time I've sat here in this truck in the morning before the sun came up and did an intro for a turkey hunting video. It's been a rough season. I have 2 days left I can hunt this year. And I rode up here to the mountains of Western Maryland because we can't hunt back home on Sundays. Sunday morning here, mid-May. Still haven't got a bird, but when I was up here opening weekend, I heard 2 birds. I had one going off at me. Every time I'd call at him, he'd move farther away. And I worked with him up the mountain and eventually had him about 40 yards. I got in front of them and they were coming up the hill and I could hear them gobbling. And I called and they went back down the hill. And then I heard the hen that was with him. He had a hen with him. He kept leading him away from me. So I made some real loud cackles. I got another bird going off on across the hollow on the other side of the hill. That one wouldn't come in. He was out there about 300 yards. But I know there are a couple birds back in here. I hope they're still back in here. It's been a while. It's been three and a half weeks since that happened. So anyway, yeah, I've had a rough year. I've been all over birds. I've had birds strutting in fields. Had birds gobbling in thick stuff 30, 40 yards away. I just haven't been able to close the deal. So here I am, got up extra early because the sun comes up, it gets light at legal light's 5:20 now. So I got up extra early, drove out here to the mountains, and I got 20 minutes to get out here and get back in here where I heard that bird. If he's still back here, I got my fingers crossed he's even gobbling anymore. Late in the season like this, it can be hit or miss. Sometimes you just don't hear him anymore. But I'm going to get out here and see if I can't get it done. I got today and tomorrow. Got my fingers crossed. I'd really like to get a bird this year. Well, I got out here on the mountain this morning. Made it just by first light, and I didn't hear anything on the roost. I was coming down a fire trail, and I actually heard a bird gobbling. He was already on the ground. He gobbled 3 or 4 times. So I did a little setup, and I called to him, and that was it. He shut down. It sounded like he was moving a little bit off in the direction of this opening. I know this opening's up here. So I got up here, tried to sneak around the backside of the knob he was gobbling on, and got up here set up on this little opening. Did a few calls and decided just to sit here for an hour or so. Nothing showed up. So I think what I might do is get up and work back real slowly down the hillside towards where I heard him, see if he's not still in there where he was this morning. The problem is these woods are so open, these hillsides up here, they might as well be fields. So the birds don't really have to come out here in the opening to strut. They can just strut on the hillsides, and I've caught them doing it up here before with hens. They just stay in the woods. It's so open. But I'm gonna work back down towards where I heard him this morning, try to set up and call a little bit and sit for a little while longer, see what happens. So I spent the rest of the morning doing a little mixture of run and gun, and alternatively I would find a good looking spot and sit and set up and call for a while. I never did get another bird to gobble at me, so I came on home, and now it's Monday, and I got out here on this area a little closer to home today. Basically, this is the last morning I have to hunt. Didn't hear a thing as it got light. I did have a deer come out and bed down in the middle of an open field. I'm sure she was just trying to get away from these mosquitoes back in here. They're horrible. But Called in a snapping turtle too. Hey, that was never done that before. But anyway, I came around to where I had seen that that turkey strut for that deer the other day, and I set up and I gave some calls, and I got a response. This is about 11 o'clock. Excuse me. Well, anyway, and the bird gobbled, nothing happened. So I sat for about an hour, and he started gobbling on his own again, right around noon. And I gave him a little bit of calling, and he came in. Now the situation now is I'm back here in the woods because that bird came in, he drifted off about 56 yards, and he came back in. The problem is we got a set of 3 long fields that are about 20-30 yards wide, and I'm calling from the hedgerow over here. That bird's in the hedgerow on the other side of the field. He won't come out of there. He's staying in. I mean, I've called him into about 50 yards, 40, 50 yards twice, and he won't come out of that hedgerow. So what I'm doing is I came out and I'm circling these fields back in the woods. I'm going to get around in the hedgerow on the other side of him to give him the impression that the hen has come through, gotten around him, and gone to the other side. I have a feeling that may be the only way to draw him out in the open and get a look at him, maybe get a shot at him. So yeah, guess who didn't get a turkey this year? This guy. My plan seemed to be working really well. I was on that bird and I snuck around through the woods and I came out into the next field over, and I started sneaking down the far tree line. I looked down the field, down the tree line towards where I wanted to set up. Guess who was standing exactly where I had planned on setting up at? The gobbler. He'd already come through there and gone over to the next field over. So yeah, I saw him, he saw me, and I watched my turkey season disappear into the brush at the far end of the field. About 2 seconds later, I was hunting with my buddy Mike. He got one. My son Michael, he got 2. All I can do at this point is brush off my ego, come up here to the lake, 2 little fish, and that's what Dana and I are doing this afternoon. We're trying to catch some panfish, and maybe we'll have some luck getting some little panfish for dinner since we don't have any turkey in the freezer. But, anyway, we got a good summer planned. We're gonna be out here doing a lot of fishing. We plan to head back to Deep Creek Lake. I'm sure that's going to result in several videos. You can keep up with all the latest at www.camochairproductions.com, or you can subscribe to us right here on YouTube. Just use the logo, click that, and use that little bell icon so you get instant notifications when we publish new videos. And you can use these thumbnails here to see a few of our other videos, which were filmed when we did have a little success in the turkey woods. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you again real soon.